Live from WTKR News 3, your news at 11 starts right now.
Dangerous surf conditions along the Outer Banks today, and things only expected to get worse with a possible tropical storm on the way.
And we are keeping a close eye on the system right off of our coast. The National Hurricane Center just issued brand new information moments ago. I'll let you know where the storm is headed and what we can expect.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Todd Carrillo. Tropical Depression 8 has formed along the North Carolina coast, and it is expected to strengthen. As you can see, both the Virginia Beach oceanfront and parts of the Outer Banks in North Carolina are dealing with rough surf already. Let's get straight to First Warning Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Patrick Rocky, who is pinpointing the exact track and impact. Patrick.
Well, Todd, the atmosphere is just primed out in the tropics for storms. We're approaching the height of the hurricane season, and just like that, we have a tropical depression that likely will become a tropical storm tomorrow. This is the very latest, the 11 o'clock update from the National Hurricane Center. So the storm has sustained winds at 35, gusts up to 45. Here's the biggest change so far. Throughout the day, the storm has been drifting off to the west pretty slowly, now making a turn to the northwest, and that trend is expected to continue tonight and into the day tomorrow. We also expect the storm to strengthen into a tropical storm as it makes its way toward the southern Outer Banks. As we zoom in here a little bit closer, you can see this is 8 o'clock on Tuesday night, sustained winds at 45 miles per hour. That's also an update. It is expected to strengthen a little bit more than the last update, but what you notice here is it's brushing by Cape Hatteras on the southern Outer Banks. That's the center of the forecast track, but there's an equal chance that it could move way out here, farther away from the coast, or a chance that it could move deeper inland through across eastern North Carolina. So we'll keep a very close eye on that. So what can we expect? Well, we can expect rough surf and the threat for rip currents all along our coast. Now, some bands of heavy rain, but mainly in northeastern North Carolina. I've heard from a lot of you that say, Patrick, my lawn, I haven't had significant rain in weeks. Unfortunately, this is not going to be a big rainmaker for Hampton Roads, it looks like, and even across much of eastern North Carolina, we're not talking about a ton of rain. But that's just one of 3 systems we're tracking. We have a major hurricane out in the Atlantic, Gaston. We also have another tropical depression, and this could grow into a tropical storm as well. And get this, all 3 of these systems could impact our area in one way or another. We're going to talk about that coming up with your First Warning Storm Team forecast.
Patrick, thank you. Those systems in the Atlantic are already causing powerful waves along the Outer Banks. That's expected to continue throughout the night and into next week. News 3's Rachel Carden is live on the beach in Kitty Hawk. Rachel, what is the weather like right now?
Yes, Todd, well, you just heard Patrick say it. Very rough surf. You can't really see it where I'm standing right now, but you can certainly hear it. Very powerful waves, not as high as we were seeing earlier today when the tide was coming in. However, still very, very strong. The wind has stayed about the same since we've been out here early this afternoon. However, I will say in the past 2 or 3 hours, the temperature has dropped 4 to 5 degrees, so it definitely feels a little bit colder right now here on the beach. Powerful waves knock swimmers off their feet and winds whip across the dunes in Kitty Hawk. Conditions for a tropical depression.
Feels like a washing machine. Yeah, there's not too much drag going back out, but a lot of wave action right on the shore.
Pulls you down the beach. You can try and start walking and it just drags you down to the right, further down the beach.
Lifeguards warn swimmers to stay near the lifeguard stands and don't go into deep water, but even in shallow water, the conditions are dangerous.
Stay close, because right here where we're at, it just drops off, and right where they're breaking, they just keep breaking. So when you come up to get air, you're getting hit by another one.
According to the National Hurricane Center, everyone along the North Carolina coastline should pay close attention to the forecast. As the storm gets closer, the beach gets smaller. Some say that Sunday afternoon is the calm before the storm.
It's a beautiful day.
I know, it's always pretty down.
And the water is 78 degrees.
Others know better than to get too comfortable out on the beach.
I've been out here 40-some years, and this is a windy day and very rough. You see there's not many people going that far offshore.
Surfers say the waves are too choppy for good surf conditions. They say the wind direction needs to change before they'll be able to ride the waves.
The wind is coming from the ocean onshore, and it just chops things up. You want the wind to come from the shore and lift the waves up.
We actually saw several surfers walking up to the beach with their surfboards, checking out the surf, and then turning around and walking away. We know that their time usually is right after a storm hits the area. They say that's when the best time to ride the waves are. However, lifeguards are urging caution for anyone that's surfing or swimming. They say every morning they go out and analyze the surf, and that's when they decide whether or not to fly those red flags. However, surfers are allowed to surf even when the red flags are flying, as long as they have a leash attached to their boards, so that they have some sort of flotation device while they're out there in the water. Live in Kitty Hawk, I'm Rachel Cardin, News 3.
Now is a great time to make sure you have the News 3 app. It is the best way to get instant updates on the forecast and the first warning on any weather alerts. It's free to download at WTKR.com/apps. New tonight in Southampton County, officials with the sheriff's office say a 15-year-old boy drowned in the Nottoway River this afternoon. The call came in around 4 at the state boat landing off Smith's Ferry Road. That is just south of Franklin. Officials did not say how he drowned. Stay with News 3 as we continue to get more information. Christopher Newport University parents and students are on edge tonight. Early this morning, campus police sent out an alert that there was a possible shooting near the campus, but now police say it was all a false alarm. News 3's Brian Hill explains how this could have happened.
Reports of a possible shooting near CNU caused panic for some students on campus this morning.
When we saw that, it was kind of scary.
Students were sent this alert of a possible shooting around 4 a.m. Newport News Police and CNU Police were called to Nutmeg Quarter Place near Sweetbriar Drive around 3 a.m. for reports of shots fired. John McAndrews describes the scene.
I turned the corner and there's probably about 5 or 6 cars, probably about 12 or 13 policemen right there just looking for something.
Something like shell casings. However, officers say they didn't find any evidence supporting reports of gunshots. It was more than 10 hours after the investigation was complete that the university updated their alert. Students say it should have been done much quicker.
The fact that it hasn't been updated when it is something that's that severe worries me, and I think that's kind of neglectful.
University officials tell News 3 when incidents happen off campus, the updates may come later compared to on-campus events. Regardless of the situation, students say CNU is still a safe campus. Again, CNU has given the all clear for students. In the control room, Brian Hill, News 3.
Newport News Police are investigating a deadly head-on crash on Kingsway Drive and Jefferson Avenue. The wreck happened around 4:30 this morning. One person was taken to the hospital where that victim was pronounced dead. He has not yet been identified. Police say the investigation is still ongoing. New details in a story we first told you about last night. A 4-year-old boy found floating in a hotel pool has died. Police say the child was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. It all happened at a Days Inn hotel near Kings Dominion in Doswell, Virginia. The hotel is not affiliated with that amusement park. When EMS crews arrived, they found the boy floating in the outdoor pool. Investigators are working with the medical examiner's office in Richmond to determine the boy's cause of death. A church in Norfolk is taking action against crime tonight. Mount Hermon Baptist Church launched their Speak Up anonymity boxes for the city of Norfolk today. The reveal was during the 11 o'clock worship gathering. The fourth Sunday of each month is designated as Speak Up Sunday. The boxes are for sharing tips and information about crimes.
With the Speak Up Against Crime, we're really trying to encourage members of the community to take a stand and say enough is enough.
If you would like to take action, you can drop information about a crime into this box. The church is located on Lenz Avenue in the Fairmount Park area. Country Fresh is recalling 30,000 cases of fresh cut vegetable products because of potential Listeria contamination. The recall impacts both Virginia and North Carolina. Products that have a best use by date between August 7th through August 19th are being recalled. Those products are either in clear plastic containers or in a styrofoam tray. There are no confirmed cases of illnesses related to the recall at this time. If you want a full list of all the vegetables that are being recalled, just head over to this story on WTKR.com. Still to come tonight, 3 decades since the Colonial Parkway murders gripped the nation. Next, News 3 talks to a family member of one of the victims. Hear why hope remains this case will be solved. And arrests made in the shooting death of a cousin of NBA star Dwayne Wade. Next, we'll tell you what Chicago police say that shooting resulted from.
And we have a tropical storm watch in effect for the southern Outer Banks. We're tracking not one, but two potential tropical storms that could affect our area this week. The very latest coming up with your first warning 7-day forecast.